everyone, it's your host Bao. Today we are going into emotional intelligence and how a person can improve. So I'm not really an expert on it. I do really enjoy reading up about how to regulate your emotions. Regulating your self-emotions is one of the key components, but it is not everything. Having more emotional intelligence has been shown to be amazing for your work life, your social life, having more friends, whatever business. It will really greatly benefit your life, and that's why you should keep on watching. My name is Bao and my handle is Bao the Bijin. We're gonna just dive right in, okay? So what is emotional intelligence? You may have heard when someone make like a very off-putting remark about somebody else or even yourself in school when they use this term EQ in like an anyhow way, okay? No one really knows what EQ encompasses of, but we like to throw it around as the main term for social skills, okay? So instead of saying,
oh, you have a lack of social skills,
I just instead say, oh,
you have the lowest EQ I've ever seen.
If someone is saying that to you directly, I am pretty sure that person doesn't have high EQ too, because it actually shows a lack of social skills. We have to take that into consideration. There are many people who use this term very lightly and to put people down. Say if someone tells you that you have a low EQ, it's their opinion. But have your own guide to judge where you want to improve in your own personal EQ level. So what is emotional intelligence or EQ? Generally speaking, it is the ability to recognize, understand, manage your own emotions and also others' emotions. So this will encompass 5 main components. This is according to Daniel Gottman in his 1995 book Emotional Intelligence. I don't know why it took a while. The title actually says how it is more important than IQ. First, it is self-awareness. The second is self-regulation. The third is empathy. The fourth is motivation. And the fifth is social skills. We'll dive into each one. No one is perfect, as
you won't know.
There is no one who is perfect in every single quadrant, okay? I feel that we will never be perfect in all of them, and there will always be something that we are working towards. So this is the video that you go to after watching like a video that says,
these are how you know that you have emotional intelligence.
So I will teach you how to cultivate EQ in yourself. I really hope this will help you in some way, and also in turn it helps me. It's a lifelong process. I don't ever think that there's someone with like perfect EQ, and even though it's very important, right? I have seen people with terrible EQ, but I still think they are brilliant and they are successful. So it is not the main determining factor of your life, but it definitely is a huge part, because humans, we are social creatures. So unfortunately, we need to socialize, and all of these elements or factors are what will help us to be seen as like a better, human, mate, friends, husband, wife, daughter,
etc. Okay, I don't know what else.
The first one is self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. If you are on autopilot every day, because life is so busy, right? There's a tendency that you are just rushing through the motions of life, and you don't actually stop and reflect on how you are feeling, why you are feeling a certain way. At the end of the day, you are just like,
Oh, what happened today? Oh, I don't remember.
Was I angry? I don't know. It's not just your emotions. You also are able to recognize your own strengths, your own weaknesses, basically yourself as a whole. If you feel like, hey, I don't really know myself, I don't really understand who I am, I don't know about all those very philosophical deep ideas of life, but I do know that, okay, so we have this body now, so what are we good at, what we are feeling now, what are our weaknesses that we can improve, what are our passions, that sort of thing. Those we can understand, try to understand that. Okay, so how we can go into that is by journaling. I always talk about journaling because journaling really helped to kickstart a very important stage of my life, which I didn't know it was a big stage then. It was actually like a big jump from my emotionless, cold self into someone who understands a lot more about why we feel certain things. And also I understood myself like way more, why I get triggered by certain things, why I don't get triggered by certain things when they trigger other people, because ultimately everyone is different, right? Journaling really helped me a lot, and definitely you can give this a try if you need like a prompt. Talk about a significant event and then go into why you feel it may have happened, your confused feelings. Try to write as much as you can, okay? Try to fill up like 3 pages to really go through what exactly your mind is thinking of. And in that sense, meditation feels the same. Many people have also said that meditation also helps them. When we talk about meditation, there are a lot of kinds of meditation. Personally, the one that I have been doing is Vipassana meditation, and you can check out my video here. When you are meditating, that's where the sea waves settle and then you can see what's really happening on the surface, if that makes sense. Yes, but you realize that your mind is always running and you just start to have a clearer idea of what you are thinking of. You start to become more aware of thoughts like this. These thoughts are also part of you, right? Whatever you have heard of, I think you should give them a try. If you feel like, yeah, I don't really know or understand myself, I don't know why I react certain ways, I don't know why I feel the need to do this, or like I feel guilty at certain areas. Yeah, so definitely try going deeper. You know, I always say we're like an onion. So we have many layers, so try to get to like the core layer rather than, you know, just peeling off the surface area, the part where you don't eat. I feel that meditation and journaling are actually the best ways to self-reflect. But if you don't really want to meditate, you are thinking, how long should I meditate? You still have to go into a very deep research, right? Then never mind, just have some time to yourself to sit and think about what happened, and then ask yourself
why you reacted a certain way, why I'm like this, why am I thinking of this?
And then go deeper back to your little core onion self. The core of your onion, what is that? One thing that I haven't been able to have the courage to do is to ask people how they perceive me as a person. How people perceive you is definitely different from how you perceive yourself. I don't mean to ask you to ask them like, hey, what do you think of me? And if they say something like, oh, you're just a terrible
whatever, okay.
And then you take it as, oh, Bao has just asked me to ask for like ways to have a lower self-esteem, but that's not really what I'm going for. If you ask someone that you trust about yourself, make sure you really trust this person, okay? And if they tell you something out of the goodwill of their heart, if it's very bad, if it's worse than you have ever imagined, right? It may be good to keep it in the back of your mind and then work on it slowly. If you also think that whatever they say makes sense. But if whatever they are saying don't resonate with you, just throw it away, especially if it affects you. But I would say if someone really cares about you and wants the best for you, right, there is no way they will be telling you something just to hurt you. This also depends on your judgment. Don't be asking someone that you have just met yesterday or last week, okay? Ask someone who has known you for a while, and also say, hey,
I won't get mad, okay?
If you tell me the truth about myself, how did you feel when I reacted this way? How was it like when I said this to you? Do you feel hurt? But also let them tell you good things about you, okay? So people who care and love you, they have good things to say about you, I'm sure. So yeah, I haven't been able to do that. Maybe one day I will. I've always thought it may not be a bad thing. Yeah. Second part in emotional intelligence is self-regulation. Self-regulation is self-explanatory. So just now, self-awareness is like the first layer. When you understand, you have to know before you act, right? So this is the acting part. How well are you at the implementation? So this is how well you can regulate your own
emotions,
including stress, including what you say during stressful situation, the ability to control impulsive feelings and behaviors, and adapt to changing environments. How I think about it is how well you know yourself first, and then you can put in place some mechanisms to prevent yourself from blowing up under stress. It will be good if we find measures that we can fall back on when we are under distress. If you are in a great mood, nothing can bring down your mood. Maybe this person is like, "Hey, you idiot," and then you just feel like,
that's okay because I know I'm not an idiot.
But if you are in a terrible mood, you are under stress, you have lots of things on your mind, you are feeling very anxious, you need to have some methods to fall back on when you encounter situations that are not ideal. So self-regulation goes hand in hand with self-awareness, but I feel the core thing is always to understand what's going on first, then you can work out what you need to do. If you don't understand, you are like the blind leading the blind. I don't know who is the second blind, but yep, it's yourself. But you don't even understand what is happening. How are you solving the problem? You're not going to the root of the problem, you're solving the symptoms. Oh my god.
And so deep.
There are a few things you can do in stressful situations. None of this is like you must achieve complete self-awareness before you can start on learning how to self-regulate. You can do them together at the same time as you go on this journey. The first that I always do is that I pause before I react. So this is easier said than done. I have been very reactive, and it has always been something that I have been working on consciously or subconsciously while I was going through my school years. So my parents are actually quite,
how do I put this nicely,
judgmental of how we react, but to a certain extent I am still kind of grateful because they do point out,
why is your temper so bad, why are you so reactive, why are you blah blah blah.
I realize on hindsight how I think about me being reactive is how can I improve this rather than being mad at them for pointing certain things out. Now what I would do is I would pause before I react, and there are times when it doesn't happen for me, but it is a good way to, that half a second maybe all you need to really step back from the situation and then view the situation from another light, maybe from the person's perspective, maybe think about how it reflects on yourself. I don't mean in the eyes of other people, but how you judge yourself afterwards if you look back at your behavior. I don't know about you, but I really feel very guilty if I direct my anger towards someone when it's not their fault. Or even if it's their fault, I don't think any anger is justified. Any anger that comes out, it is because of you. It is never because of that particular person. One good thing through the years is that I start to eat healthier. So if you don't know, I try to be as vegan as possible. And in this process, I actually read up a lot about nutrition. So I try to see what I need in my body to make sure that I don't get deficient from lack of meat, lack of dairy or whatever. But I also realize that
we don't need all of those in our bodies, and those are what are actually destroying our bodies.
So I start to read up on what's essential to our bodies, and I start to eat more veggies, eat more fruits, eat more whole grains, And I also try to cook at home more. So when I cook at home more, I'm very skimpish with the salt. Okay, so I feel like a healthy diet actually really helps to regulate your emotions. So whether you are vegan or not, I don't care, but read up about this. There is no one diet that says, hey, you should eat vegetables. If it does, you know what, send it to me, comment below, let me know, okay? I will go and them up, okay? For you, just for you. Because our brains will need the essential nutrients to make sure that we are functioning normally. Sometimes when we are lacking certain supplements, we really feel very tired, even if you have had enough sleep. If you feel like,
I've been exercising recently,
I got enough sleep, why am I still not feeling okay? Maybe it's your diet. Really look into your diet, see whether you are getting enough vegetables and fruit. Yeah, if not, just do like a blood test to see what you are deficient in. There's a high chance you are deficient in something, but don't supplement if you don't know what you are deficient in, because it doesn't make sense. I have a friend who thought that she was deficient in B12, and then she just started to take B12 supplements, but that worsened whatever condition that she was having. I'm not a healthcare professional, okay, but definitely consult one if you feel your health is amazing, okay. Why am I still so XXXXX? There's one thing that I must talk about, which is breathing exercises. This will actually help to reduce your anxiety and everything. If you feel spiraling out of control, you definitely can try breathing techniques. So I don't know what you use, but the simplest one, I think it was box breathing. So box breathing is just a simple, so you use your hand, you trace a box. Breathe in 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds. So I may be wrong, go and figure it out yourself, okay? Go and Google, I can't remember really. It is worth a try if you don't really sit to observe how you feel. It used to help me a lot, I guess, when I'm feeling very anxious. So the third is motivation. Motivation from internal factors rather than external factors like money, status, fame, kind of thing, you know. Personally, I'm not very on board with this part because different people have different motivations and different passions. Maybe his passion is money, right? So whatever drives you to go towards your goals. One thing I do have to say is that most of us actually tend to get defeated if we set too big a goal. I don't know why I just did that. Yeah, too big a goal and we can't achieve it. A general guideline is, if say it is something that is a very big task, to cut it into smaller tasks. Or if you are trying to hit like the next level of something, what you can do is to just increase the difficulty by a little. So you don't set such a big step for yourself, maybe like a 10% increase. That was very good for me when I think about how to push myself, like not too hard. This analogy, I think it's from Atomic Habits again. It says that if you are playing tennis, like this is my way of playing tennis, okay? Obviously I'm gonna lose. If you're playing with like an Olympic pro, like the sisters, what's their name? If you play against them, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm so terrible at tennis, I'm gonna give up now, okay? There goes my racket, okay? But if you play with someone who is a little bit stronger than you, you will feel more motivated to want to get better.
You know what I mean?
There's a little hope in you that you can win that person the next time. So even if you want to get to the pro status, we have to start somewhere, right? And then if it's too big a gap between us and the person that we play with, we just lose motivation very fast. So be careful when you want to find people to challenge you. If they are too
up there,
maybe steer clear of them until you feel like you guys are, of a closer level. If not, you will feel like you are dragging them down. You know what I mean? Whatever helps you be motivated. Different people are different. Next on the list is empathy. So empathy, as you know, you should know, it's a very commonly used word, is when you do your best to understand the emotions of others. This involves recognizing, understanding, and considering other people's feelings. And this will also lead to you connecting with other people on a deeper level, on an emotional level. So this one I'm good at, okay? But the one thing that I'm very terrible at is listening. I always want to say a lot of things. They say that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth so that, we listen more than we talk, right? At least 2 times. I don't know, my mouth just likes to talking, and it's something that I'm still working on. We also want to judge the situation according to how it's unfolding. Okay, I realize there are times when you should just be quiet, and this should be your default mode, and let the other person, describe what's happening, talk about how they're feeling, But there are times when they actually want you to be advising them. You really have to judge which way you have to go for this. Maybe this one is a little bit more intuitive. When someone is in whatever situation, okay, they're upset, they're angry, they are sad, they're in grief, make sure to really listen to them. Look at their eyes, what's that called? Eye contact, sorry. I realized when you really listen, you know exactly what to respond. There is no need for you to be thinking,
how should I respond to this person next?
Because naturally you just get curious, you just ask about the situation, and usually how best you can help the other person is by asking,
how can I support you right now?
Okay, so there is no need to be all fancy, whatever. Just let the person know you want to be there. Okay, so that is very important, and I really hate it when there's just people who are listening while using their phone, and it just makes the person feels really not heard. Okay, so this is actually an active listening skill.
Just drop your damn phone.
The last one is social skills. So social skills, I think I can go into like a whole another video. No, just on social skills itself, because social skills encompasses so many things by itself. It's like how you talk to someone on a daily basis, how you have conflict resolution, how you own up for your mistakes, ability to build and maintain healthy relationships. They're all part of it, and that's why it is very hard to say how to improve your social skills. If we are talking about a person who is meeting you for the first time versus someone who has spent every day with you for the past decade, it's a different set of skills. So recently, I think it's my sister, yep. She went to do like a Toastmasters class thing, so maybe you can do something like that if you want to improve your communication skills. For me personally, I feel it is even more important to treasure the people who have been there for you for a long time. I know it sounds so cliche. Business things aside, maybe you would love to know more about how to, speak better to prospects of like your new business or like new business partners, whatever, right? We tend to neglect social skills for our family, how we can build better relationships with them. I feel it's so neglected. Okay, relationships are so important in our life. They are the main foundation on how we can have confidence in ourselves to do greater things. So I would say really look into how we can nurture our own relationships. I'm actually reading this book. It's called 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work. So I'm not married, but I think it is a very good book for couples. Whether you just got together, whether you are 10 years married, 20 years married, 60 years married, it's an incredible book. I'm still going through it. A high EQ has been associated with better mental health, better job performance, and an overall higher satisfaction with life. This concept that EQ may be more important than IQ is populated by Daniel Goleman. He did highlight that emotional intelligence may be actually more critical in a workspace or in anywhere, honestly, than IQ itself. So, well, that's one thing to think about. So many of us, we always look into
IQ.
And one more thing that I have to say is that no one is perfect, and there is no way we all have perfect EQ. But I do think that we can reform our brains, if that makes sense. Your brain can rewire itself to be a different way. So that is how powerful our brains are, okay? It is really possible to change your EQ. Okay, I mean IQ, I don't know. Unless you want to improve your memory, and then you can watch my video right here. So if you have enjoyed this video, remember to click on like, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below on what you would like to see next in my videos. And if you have any comments, let me know, okay? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!